Hello, hello. My name is Britt Brandon. Thank you so much for joining me. Today is going to be our fourth installment of our burnout prevention and recovery tutorials series. So today we are going to be talking about stress. And this is one of the biggest things because it comes in so many shapes and sizes. And a lot of the time, in my personal experience, it can be hard to actually figure out what is causing you stress. And so with our focus on being able to not only heal from burnout, but also be preventative, right? We want to be able to be proactively preventing burnout. I think stress is such an important place to focus. So we want to be able to focus some attention on stress. So there's actually, I just wrote a book, She Rises and Thrives. And in that book, we talk about that there's two types of stress. So positive stress is called eustress, EU. Sorry that my handwriting is atrocious on these videos. So eustress is good stress. So that's positive, happy stress. So that's going to be, yay, we're having a baby, or we're getting married, or, positive things like you're getting a promotion, we're going on a vacation, like things that are exciting and life transforming, exciting adventures. So we have eustress, and then we also have distress. Oh, what a disaster. Okay. So we have eustress and distress, obviously. So this is sad. Okay, so the goal is to optimize our eustress, right? And to minimize our distress. Now, what's funny is that it's not just negative situations that lead to bad stress, right? So we want to be optimizing our good stress and minimizing our bad stress, but stress is as individual as we are. It is as unique to you as you can possibly imagine, because things that might stress you out in a bad way might be the things that absolutely invigorate me and light me on fire, right? You think about public speaking. I love public speaking. Put me in front of a stage, give me a topic that I love, and I can talk for hours. I can involve people. I'm engaged. I am literally on cloud nine. But somebody who has a, serious fear of public speaking, forget it. It's a completely different, it's for me, it's this, for them, it's this, right? So we want to be starting to let your body lead the way in terms of what is bad stress and what is good stress for you. Okay. So remember how we were talking about the cues and clues, right? So now, since this is the fourth installment, our first three were on fitness, right? Nutrition, right? And then sleep. So we want to be making sure that this is just one more area that we are incorporating our focus on our body's cues and clues, right? So our body normally gives us a lot of feedback. And if we just pay attention, we can learn so much about what our body likes and doesn't like. And this is a huge one where your body communicates to you so clearly. So when you get anxiety, right? Anxiety, that's a big one. Okay, anxiety. If you go into a group setting and you start having major anxiety, that's a great one for you to follow that thread and figure out, is it the people? Was it the location? Was it the type of environment? Was it the type of topic that was being discussed? Whatever the case might be. And then try to figure out what component of that situation was eliciting that bad stress, that anxiety, right? Anything that's going to be putting us on that heightened alert, right? That's going to be something that we want to be making sure that we try to minimize. So when we start figuring out things that are going to be causes, right? So just like we've been talking about in all of these scenarios, we want to be keeping what works, ditching what doesn't. Keep the positive, and then ditch the negative. So I have people, places, and things that literally will elicit I can't. Okay? But I am very, very busy. I like to think that my busyness, so I have 3 kids, 2 dogs, 1 cat, a ton of jobs. So everything that requires my attention that I value, I prioritize, right? My kids get my attention no matter what. My dogs get my attention second to my kids. There's a pecking order, but there has to be those things are preserved and require my attention. If I have things like these negatives that are going to be elicited by people, places, and things, right, that are going to be energy zappers. Energy zappers. We do not want these, okay? So these things are very bad, okay? So not only are we having stress, right, that's caused by these, guess who they elicit? You remember cortisol? Yeah. Okay. Guess what? So we have cortisol. If you didn't get to learn about cortisol with us in the first and second installments, please revisit. Cortisol, so she's a helpful hormone, right? So she's our stress hormone, and she likes to make sure that everything stays in balance, right? But she is not awesome sometimes, because when we are stressed out, she gets stressed out, and she does not like to be stressed out, okay? And so she will come in and she will keep the peace. And so she does that by shutting down shop. And she will make it so that so she is in cahoots with our blood sugar, okay? And your blood sugar does everything from dictate fat storage to energy levels and hunger, okay? So I actually have a story. I should have shared this in sleep, but so I have a story that perfectly highlights cortisol and its effects on our blood sugar and why we crave carbs, okay? So my kids are in crave carbs. My kids are swimmers, okay? And so when we are in the heat of swim season and we have swim meets that run way past my bedtime, okay? So everybody comes home. We're all in the kitchen because you pass the kitchen to even go anywhere in our house. So everybody ends up there. And plus, I have 3 teenagers, so everybody is constantly eating anyway. So that they live there. So we might as well just put beds in there. So we will all end up in the kitchen. And I know, because I am so tired. I am so tired, right? And it is so past my bedtime that my body either needs fuel, because it's like, hey, we were supposed to be asleep half an hour ago, right? So if you want us to stay up, we need fuel. Otherwise, we need to go to sleep. So let's go to sleep. But if you want to stay up, we need fuel. And so if I continue to go past my bedtime and it starts getting concerned, like, hey, we're running low on fuel. We're literally running on fumes. And that's how you feel, right? It needs that like second boost. It needs that second wind. And so what's it doing? It's going to trigger to your brain. So first it's going to lower your blood sugar so that all of a sudden you're like running on fumes, right? But then also what's going to happen? So guess what? Crazy cortisol. She comes in, right? This crazy lady. And she comes in and she's like, I don't like this. I don't like this. No. We need everybody happy. No. I don't like this. I don't like this. So what does she do? She's like, hey, guess what? We're going to drop your blood sugar even lower. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to crave some simple carbs. Because guess what simple carbs do? Remember how we talked about simple versus complex? The simple is the sugar, refined breads, cookies, cakes, candies, those kinds of things. And they're simple because as soon as they hit your bloodstream, they're able to like, it's almost like, I like to think of it as like a sugar cube, like it literally like melts, right? Like complex carbs, fruits and vegetables, they have to be broken down because they're like so fibrous. But simple sugars, like you just pop it into your mouth and it's like ting, everything, it immediately goes into your bloodstream. So what happens? So your body, because cortisol is running the show and she's dictating, right? So now she's taken over, this crazy lady. So she's taken over, she's spiking your blood sugar, and your body knows that if it can seek out simple carbs, that's going to seal the deal, give you energy real quick, okay? Complex carbs, they're going to take too long. So it's going to start craving these. Guess what simple carbs are? Like refined carbs. That's why you crave carbs when you're tired, okay? So stress elicits that same crazy scenario, okay? And so when we have low energy, we're craving carbs. Let's see what else is happening. It's all bad, okay? So this is like a spiral. So it just keeps going. So the best way to combat that is mindfulness. I know it sounds so crazy. It sounds so crazy, but it's like the more that you can literally just like breathe, meditate, be mindful, eat healthy foods, like take a second, right? Like take a second. And that's the best thing that you can possibly do. And you can be anywhere, whether you have to, okay. So yesterday I went for a walk, right? And so my daughter is in the process of signing up for, we're in the process of like choosing classes and everything. And so she's like, my walks are my mindful time. So yesterday's crazy. I'm like trying to put out fires all over the place. They need to go for a walk. So I'm like trying to get everything done. And so I'm like, okay, we have to go for a walk. So we walk outside and I'm like, yay. And all of a sudden my phone's like, ding, ding, ding. So you have to be able to safeguard your mindful times, right? So obviously we know that when our people need us, like that's going to be priority. But whenever you do have a minute that you aren't needed or that you aren't putting out fires, you need to be practicing mindfulness, okay? Because guess what? Mindfulness is what makes this crazy lady less crazy. And we want her less crazy. We want her less crazy and we want her staying inside and not coming out to play, okay? Like we want her happy at home, like not crazy and going outside to wreak havoc. So the more that we can practice mindfulness, okay? And then also, if you can combine mindfulness, yay, we're going to put this in all exciting, right? So mindfulness, where you're just letting your senses be on full alert, right? So it's like the sun on your, the sun on your skin, the sounds of the birds chirping, the feel of the breeze, the smells of spring, whatever the case might be. We want to be able to practice mindfulness. And then we combine that with low impact activity. Oh my goodness. Your body loves that, okay? Because guess what? You're getting your blood pumping. Low impact activity helps your happy hormones get distributed and produced, and everything is like good to go. We have your gut even gets super happy. Gut health gets super happy. Okay, whenever we incorporate these. Okay, so now we have all of these three things working in cahoots. And then, everything from your muscle systems, your metabolism, everything is like moving and grooving and feeling very, very good, right? And so the more that we can keep this as our go-to. So I have a client who I was actually just talking to yesterday about her stress levels and about how we have to manage everything because we definitely don't want cortisol coming out to play. So we were talking about incorporating, she needs 4 mindful breaks throughout the day. And so this is what I want to encourage you to do. The more that we can fight stress proactively by identifying 4 pockets of time that you can either go for a mindful walk, because guess what? We also have healing that's happening. So it's called bilateral stimulation. I probably said that wrong, but in order to combat stress, we actually have a healing that happens in our brain where your brain, when you are doing left-right repetitive movements, and I incorporate this in my book too, this is so funny. So when we are incorporating the left-right repetitive movements, your bilateral stimulation is actually helping your body heal, helping your brain process and heal from traumas like regular, bad memories. It's processing things in a healthy way. And guess what? Guess what that helps to alleviate? Ta-da! So it's like literally a win, 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 right? To be able to combat stress through mindful walking. Okay? So just know that one of the best things, we're going to put bilateral stimulation down here because I have a client who is going to be so happy to hear that I even thought to mention this. So we are going to be benefiting from all of these beautiful things that come together to help us combat stress. And so I want you to be doing this on a regular basis, but I also want you to be on the lookout for things that bring you joy, right? Keep those things that bring you joy. Like how I was talking about how like my kids get my full attention. I love my kids. Like one of my friends was saying like, I love momming so hard. Like I love my kids. I think my kids are amazing, and I would spend every single second of the day with them if they would let me. But so my thing is when I am around them, it is positive stress, right? So we want to be around the things that give us good stress. bad stress, we want to keep to a minimum, right? And this is inherent in everyday life. It's absolutely impossible for you to say like, okay, I'm never going to encounter any bad stress ever again. That's not possible. But if you have a flat tire, I want you to sit in your car and meditate while you're waiting for that person to come help you, okay? If you have something happen with your job that's spiking your anxiety, I want you to purposefully step away from your desk, drop everything, right? Like just like we were talking about, shut down shop in terms of the sleep routine. We want to be able to go to our mindful place and say like, okay, this is what we're going to be doing. We are going to be going mindfully into a bilateral stimulation that's going to be helping use low impact activity to optimize our gut health and help with happy hormones. Yay, right? So cortisol, she does not want to come out to play when we have happy hormones, saving the day. Yay. Okay. So just know this is the best. I know this is like a mess. I hope you followed along. And if you have any questions, please know that I'm always here and happy to help however I can. But I really want to encourage you, take these mindful walks, really make a point to get out every single day, multiple times a day. Do something that's going to be able to get you out of a situation and into a situation, even if it's just for a couple minutes. Okay. I hope this helps, and I will look forward to seeing you in future classes. Bye.